So, welcome to the session of set theory. Now, I am going to discuss about the universal set. Now, universal set, as the definition says, that all the sets under investigation are regarded as the subset of a fixed set. This fixed set is called the universal set, and it is denoted by capital U. That is the notation for the universal set. Sometimes it is denoted by capital X also. That means every set under investigation is regarded as a subset of some of the fixed set. For example, I will be giving you an example for this one. Suppose if I say a set of alphabets, if I talk about the set of vowels, for example, that means it is A, E, I, O, U. This is a set of vowels. I can take any other set of any other alphabet. You can write as X, Y, Z. I can take the third set. It is P, Q, R, S. So these are the sum of the sets. Now you can see if I think about these three sets, and there can be more number of sets also. All these sets are the subset of a set, which is the universal set, and it is the set of alphabets. That means for these sets, the universal set will be the set of alphabet. The universal set for these sets, and there can be more, it is the set of alphabets. Set of alphabets. Now, as the definition says that all these sets which we are discussing are the subsets of the set of alphabets. That means any other set, if you take it, all these will be the subset of the set of alphabets. So for this case, the universal set is the set of alphabets. Now, it's very important to understand the universal set. It is relative. It's always relative. For example, if I say, if I talk about the students of class 11, so the students of class 11, for the students of class 11th, what is the universal set? If I ask to you, that means you can say the students of Birla Shishu Vihar. So for the students of class 11, the universal set may be the students of Birla Shishu Vihar. Or if I say the students of Birla Shishu Vihar, you can say this, the universal set for this set is the all the students of Pilani. So this is the way it is a relative. It is a relative term. That means the bigger universe, that is the universal set. That means if I take any other example, so all the peoples of Pilani, so we can say the universal set for this one will be the people of Rajasthan. Similarly, if I talk about the people of Rajasthan, the universal set will be the all the peoples of India. So that means the universal set is always a relative set. So this is the definition of it one. Now, related to this universal set, there is a Venn diagram. Venn diagram. Venn diagram. Now, Venn diagrams are the diagrams which represents the relationships of the sets. For example, if I say, and one more thing is there in it, that is the universal set. In the case of Venn diagram, the universal set is always represented by a rectangle. This represents a universal set. We write U for it. That means every element of the set under investigation will be inside this universal set. This is the meaning of it. Whatever we are studying, of whatever sets we are investigating, the elements of those sets will be inside the universal set, and other sets will be inside this. Other sets will be inside this universal set. For example, if I say, as I told you, that Venn diagram represents the relationship between the sets. So it is represented by a diagram. So if I say there is a set A, if I talk about the set A as the same example, if I say it is A, E, I, O, U, or let's take ABC, and there the next set I am taking it as A, B, C, D, and P, Q, R, S. Now, how I make a relationship between the set A and the set B? You can see that the relationship is of subset. That means set A is a subset of B. How we can say the subset of B? Because every element of the set A is inside the set B. So how we can represent it here? So, but all these, the elements of all these sets are inside the universal set at the same time. That means both of these sets will be inside the universal sets, and in another case you say that here it is A is a subset of B. So how we can represent here these two sets in the Venn diagram? This is the Venn diagram. So it will be outside there is a set B, because if I draw a circle here, the set is represented, the universal set is represented by a rectangle, and all the sets are represented by a closed curve. Basically, we generally take the circle in this case. So it is the set B is this one, this circle. That means every element of the set B will be inside this circle. All the elements A, B, C, it's not P, it's B, A, B, C, D, and P, Q, R, S. So these elements will be inside this circle. Now, if I say these elements, the elements of the set B is inside this circle, at the same time A, B, C are the elements of the set A. Those will also be inside this this circle B for the set B. So that means the set A is inside the set B. This represents that A is a subset of B, because every element of the set A is also the element of the set B. That means the elements of the set A will be, it is, you can write in this way, although it is not required, the elements is not required, just only we have to draw the curve. It is A, B, C. That means elements of the set A is A, B, C. 3 elements are there in it, which will be inside the circle A, and the remaining, because now the elements inside the set B is A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S. So that means it is A, B, C is already we have written here, which is inside the set B also. So you can write the remaining one, A, B, C is there. So it is D, I can write it here. I can write P here, Q here, R here, S, because these elements are not inside the set A. That is the reason that we cannot write these elements inside the set A. We will be writing only those elements inside the set A which belongs to the set A, and remaining will be inside the set B. So this is the representation. This is said to be the Venn diagram. Now, the next thing is that next term, that is interval as a subset of the real number. Interval as a subset of real number. Intervals as a subset of R. Here R represents the set of real numbers. Intervals as a subset of R. It's a very important concept. Now, all of us are familiar with the number line. So you know that it's a number line. It represents the set of real numbers. If I take it as, let's take it as -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. In that will go infinitely on in both the ends. So this is a number line. And a number line represents the set of real numbers. All the real numbers will be on this number line. Now, intervals, now any real number can be represented in the terms of interval. That is the meaning of it. Any real number, the real number can be written in the terms of intervals. For example, if I say, that means I can write, if I say a set of real numbers, I am taking a set of real numbers. That means it is a set A. Interval is a subset of R. If I am taking a set A such that X, it is in the set builder form, A, X, such that X lies between, if I say X lies between 1 and -2. X lies between 1 and -2. So if we read about, that means it is the description, this part is a description of X here. It is being described that X less than 1 greater than -2. X is greater than -2 and less than 1. So that means if I see this number line here, 1 is not included in this and minus 2 is also not included. That means we have to leave these 2 points here. This point and this point. We have to leave it. And all the numbers which lie between 1 and minus 2. This is represented by set B. Now in terms of intervals, how we are going to write it? This is set builder form. So this, in terms of intervals, I have to write this set. This is the set builder form. In terms of interval, this has to be written as minus 2 comma 1. So it's very important to understand the notation which I am using it here. You cannot use your own interpretation, or you cannot use your own symbols. So if I am using this bracket, this bracket has to be used here. You cannot use any other bracket. Till date you were using, till now you were using any of the bracket, whether you are using the square bracket or the curly bracket. So curly bracket means the different thing. These are said to be the parentheses. This means the different thing. Now I will be explaining you one by one what is the meaning of this one. Whenever this bracket is being used here, this is said to be the open interval. This is said to be open interval. So you must understand, whenever it is written minus 2 comma 1, that means it represents a set of real numbers excluding minus 1 and 1. All those numbers, real numbers, which lies between minus 2 and 1. It will always lie the numbers between minus 2 and 1. Just you have to leave this minus 2 and 1. Rest of the numbers are there in this interval. And this interval is said to be the open interval. Similarly, if I write there is a set B, I am taking this as a set B. If I write in this way, x is less than equals to minus 2 and x is greater or equals to minus 2 and less than 1. Now how we are going to represent this set in the terms of interval? So it is written as minus 2. Now one thing, if I see this interval in the number line, that means it includes, that means it is written as less than 1, greater or equals to minus 2. That means the difference in these two intervals is that here minus 2 is included because it is equal to also. You can see here x is equals to minus 2 also, and it is greater than minus 2 and equal to minus 2, but less than 1. So how we are going to represent this in the terms of interval? It is minus 2, and now we'll be using, because minus 2 is there in it, you have to use this bracket, square bracket. So you cannot interchange these brackets. Whichever bracket is used, you have to use only that bracket. So it is minus 2 comma, and it is 1 is not included in this interval, so it is 1. You will be using this bracket here. That means I am erasing this part here. So it will be, this is open interval. This is said to be the semi-open, or you can say semi-closed interval or semi-open interval. So semi means half of that is open or half of that is closed. So this is the way how we are going to represent any set in terms of interval. So this is a set, this is the interval, this is a set, and this is the interval. So here if it is being written, you have to understand that here in this case it represents all the real numbers except all the real numbers include line between minus 2 and 1, including minus 2. It includes minus 2, but it does not include 1. All those real numbers which lie between, that means it is, if I write it as here. So this is, if I represent, now it's very important, one more thing, if I have to represent this on a number line, I have to write in this way. This is the method to represent on a number line. Now if I have to write this in a number line, so how it is being done? What you have to do it here, you have to just, that means it is a circle, a hollow circle represents that 1 is not included in this, and if I say it is 2 here, that means you have to, a solid circle represents 2 is included in this one. So that means hollow means 1 is not included, hollow circle I have used it here, and this you can see that the solid circle represents minus 2 is included in this. So this interval, this is the representation for this interval. For this interval, this is the representation on a number line. So if I take this one, we have to make hollow circles on both the ends. This minus 2 and 1. So, and this is said to be the open interval. This is semi-open. Similarly, we can have semi-open, or we can have closed interval also. So closed interval means if I say take another set C and I'm using the same interval x such that x is less than equals to 1 and greater or equals to minus 2. Now these brackets are reserved for the set. These brackets are curly braces are reserved for the set. You cannot use other bracket. Similarly, these brackets are reserved for the intervals, whether it is closed interval or it is an open interval. So in this case, the interval is written as it says minus 2 comma 1 closed interval. So both the ends there will be a square bracket. So this is said to be the closed interval. Closed interval. So it is closed interval. So in a number line, you have to mark solid dots on both the ends here, minus 2 as well as 1. So this is the closed interval. Now in some of the books, some of the authors use the notation for the open interval as in this way. Sometimes it is written in this way also. This is also the open interval, minus 2 comma 1. That means the mirror image, you can say the mirror image of the closed interval. So it is the bracket is this side, it will be open. So it is this means and this means, both the means are same. That means it is this bracket if you are using, that means the same thing if you are using this bracket. And it is, so it is the closed interval that way. Now there can be more representations, but these are the closed or and semi open or closed intervals. And it is now one more thing, that if the ends are extended till infinity, how it is being represented. So if I say the set of real numbers, so if I write a set A, suppose x such that x belongs to the set of real numbers. So this is the set, it is a set builder form. You can represent this in the terms of intervals also. So if I have to write this in the terms of intervals, I have to write minus infinity to plus infinity. Because if I see the number line here, 0, minus 1, minus 2 is 1, 2, something like this, 3. So it is minus infinity to plus infinity. So, and it's very important, there is a convention also here, there is a rule that you have to use a open interval for minus infinity to plus infinity. You cannot use a closed one, because infinity is still infinite number, it's a very big number. So it's always infinity. Whenever there is an infinity here, you have to take an open interval. You cannot take it as a closed interval. This is the rule here. Now I'm coming to the next. So there were some questions which were left in the previous exercise, and these concepts were related. Those questions were related to this these concepts. So that is the reason that I left it there. Now I'm going to start those questions. This exercise 1.3. So I was at question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4 was, I took second part of question number 4. You have to write the subset. Question exercise 1.3 and question number 4. So one more question I am going to take it. It is the subset of the set phi. It is the fourth part of it. Subset of the set phi. So phi is a set. You have to write a subset. You know how many subsets are there? First of all, you have to identify. You have to find out that how many subsets of a sets are there. As I told you that if I know a set which is having n elements, you can make out that how many subsets will be formed. So if a set is having n elements, the number of subsets will be 2 to the power n. Now in this case, if I have to form how many subsets will be there in this? So first of all, I have to see how many elements are there in this set. So if I ask you how many elements are there in this set phi, you will say there will be no element. No element means 0 element. So here there will be no element. That means number of elements in the set phi is 0. There will be no element. Or you can write it as phi. Sometimes this null set is represented by phi, or sometimes it is represented by, you can see this one. This is the notation for the null set. This or this means the same. You can see inside the bracket there is no element. So that means the number of elements in this set is 0. So how many subsets will be there? The rule will be same, that is 2 to the power n. So that comes out to be 2 to the power 0. That is something to the power 0 is always 1. So that means only one subset will be formed. Of this one, this null set, only one subset will be formed. And what is that subset? You are familiar with that part, that as I told you that null set is a subset of every set. This we have discussed earlier. A null set is a subset of every set. That means if I take this set as A, so it is subset of A will be, so as I told you that only one subset will be there, so there is only one subset. So the subset of null set is always a null set. Now let's come to the fifth question. Because fifth question is, how many elements has PA if A equals to 5? Okay, fine. The set A is given as 5. How many? The same thing. The question is same. The question is same, but the way of asking the question is different. That means as we know that the set A is 5 and it is being asked that how many elements are there in PA. So you have to, the question is then that how many elements. So we have to find the number of elements in PA. And PA means there is a power set. So how many elements are there in PA? That's true. How many elements are there in PA? So what is PA here? PA is the power set. So you know that power set is the subset of, power set is the set of all the subsets. So that means set of all the subsets. So first of all I have to identify, I have to find out the subset of a set 5. That is, we have taken it as 5. So that means it is, if I let's do in a sequence way. Let's form the power set of the set A first of all. Power set of set A. So what is power set of a set A? That means it is a set of all the subsets. Let's write the subset first of all. Subset of the set A is 5, as I have written it here also. Subset of a set A is 5, and power set means you have to include those subsets inside the curly braces. That means it is, write it in this way. So power set of the set A equals to 5 is, this is a power set. So you can see it is how many, now it is a set. It is a set. Just forget about PA, this is a set. Now you can see in this set how many elements are there. So it is number of elements in the power set of A. You can see, you can count it, how many elements are there in this. Only a single element is there. So you will be writing it as 1. This can be concluded from this result also, that the number of subsets is 1. So it is 1 element. If the number of elements is 2, here it is 2 elements are there in the set A. That means 2 to the power 2, 4 subsets will be there. And if you form the subsets, if you form the set of subsets, there will be 4 elements in the subset. So this is what all about the power set. Now question number 6. Because you are familiar with the concept of intervals as a subset of R, so in question number 6 you have to mention the same. You have to represent the set in the terms of intervals. Now we have discussed the interval as a subset of R. So it is, the question is, I'm writing it here, first one. It is X such that X belongs to R. X is a set of real number and X lies between 6 and minus 4. It is less than equals to 6, greater than minus 4. So that's very simple now, because you have known to the sets intervals as a subset of the real numbers. So if it is written here in this way, it is a set builder form. Now you have to see this thing. X lies between 6 and minus 4, and it is equal to, there is also there in it. So that means 6 is included. That means simply you have to write it here. Simply you have to represent this set in the terms of interval as, it is X belongs to, that is interval here it is, because X is lying between minus 4 and 6. So it is X belongs to, it is the open interval because this is greater than minus 4 and it is equal to 6, and equal to is also there in it, less than. So if you use this square bracket, it is a semi-open interval. Semi-open or semi-closed, both means the same here. So this is the interval as a subset of the real number. Now it's very important to know about the brackets, and at the same time you have to use the smaller number in the left and the bigger in the right. You cannot write it as 6 comma minus 4. That will be incorrect. in the same order you have to write. This part, this number has to be written first and this has to be written. So that means if you are writing 6 minus 4, that will be wrong. So whatever the conventions are there, you have to follow those conventions. You cannot use your own terms or own symbols. Now, I'm taking this one more part of it. Or you can do it as, let's take the third part of this one. All these remaining parts are similar, so you can do it of your own. So it is x such that x belongs to R, and x less than 7, and greater or equals to 0. If you are writing x belongs to this, that is also correct. If you are writing only the interval, this part, that is also correct. You can write any of the answer. This is also not required. Even if you are writing in the answer as this one, this answer is also good. That means the same. I have written x belongs to. That means x is lying in this interval. That is the meaning of it. So you can write as x belongs to. Now, if you see this interval, it is 7 is not included, but 0 is included. So it is in the closed interval 0, 7. This is an open interval. If you use this bracket, so x belongs to 0, 7. 0 is included, 7 is not included. Now, similarly, if it is now the question may be asked in this way, that the set builder form is given, you have to write the interval, or interval is given, you have to write the set builder form. That means that it can be on both the ways. For example, the 7th question is similar to this one. You can see it is here. Write the following in the set builder form. So it is first minus 3, 0. This is the interval minus 3, 0. So you have to write simply. It's very simple because it is fixed. How to write in the set builder form? So you can write it as x such that x belongs to real number, one thing, and x. You can see it is both the open interval. It is there in it. So it is this parentheses are used. So x is less than 0, greater than minus 3. So this is the set builder form. So again, you can do all the remaining questions of your own because the questions are of the similar type. Now, now the question is, the remaining question you can do it. I'm leaving for you. Question number 8 is that now the question number 8 is based on the universal set, and the question is that the first part of this, that what is the universal set of the set of triangle? Question number 8, universal set of the set of triangles. It is universal set of triangles. Now, as I told you that universal set is the superset of the sets under consideration. Superset means the bigger set. That means universal set has to be such that that all the triangles are included in the universal set. So that means the set of triangles, it is set of right triangles. It's a set of not triangles, it is set of right triangles. It's set of right triangles. The universal set has to be such that all the right triangles are there in the universal set. So that means you can say universal set as a set of triangles. So I can take the universal set as U equals to set of triangles. Set of triangles. That means if I take the set of triangles, this set will also include this set of right triangles. So this is the universal set of it. The second part is, so for the second part, the set of isosceles triangle. For the second part also, the universal set is set of triangles. Now, the question number, it is given the set A, which of the following may be considered as universal set for the three sets. So you can make out which of the set A. There is a set A is 1, 3, 5. If I take the ninth one, the set A is 1, 3, 5, and the set B is 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, and the set C is given as 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So the question is it's a multiple choice question. The question is that which of the following may be considered as the universal set for the three sets A, B, C. These are the three sets. What are the options? Which is the correct option? The first option is given as it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first option. Second option is that 5. Third option is given as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is 0, 1, 2 till it is 10. And the fourth option is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the fourth option. Now what you have to see here for these sets. Now universal sets means whichever sets we are investigating, that means that for these sets you have to see what is the universal. That means every element of every set must be included in the universal set. So you can see it is 1, 3, 5 is included. All these elements are included in this set. No, it's not in this set. So because it is here, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 8 is there in it, which is not there in this one. So this cannot be the universal set for all these sets. We will not be looking after only a single set. You have to consider all these sets. For all these sets, what is the universal set? So that means if I take this one, this will not set this. This cannot be the subset. This cannot be the subset of this set. This cannot be the subset of this set. All these has to be subset of the universal set. 5 is again, 5 does not have any elements, so this cannot be the universal set. Now if I see this one, this set will include A as well as B as well as. That means all the elements of set A will be there in this set. All the elements of this set will be there in this set. All the elements of this will be there in this set. So this is the universal set. This is the universal set. This can be taken as a universal set. Now let's come to this one. So you can see it is 0 is not there in it because 0 is there in the set C. So this again, this cannot be the universal set. So only for this question, this is the universal set of these sets under consideration. So this was what all about the sum of the concept, and I have completed the exercise 1.3. I'll be taking the remaining concepts in the next session. Thank you.